here at the very festive Gaylord Texan Hotel. I am seeing orange everywhere. 90% of Americans take their food out and toss it prematurely. KOMU broke into national NBC programming twice. I also checked Expedia.com to compare rates of hotels in downtown Dallas. You may just have more options than name brand and generic brand food. The celebration is set to go on all night, and a fireworks show is due at midnight. Now, in your morning commute, you can sort of see right here, the snow is packing down to make it rather slippery for every single Battle High School student. But could iPads like this one be more of a distraction? Who refused to go on camera but did tell me there are 7 stores roughly in the Columbia Mall, and they all agreed as the cold weather gets worse, which it is pretty bad out here right now. Well, now, as you can see, the sign is back on. It's home to the idea behind the first ever frozen blended margarita. Let's roll. Those 2 words were heard around the world following the September 11th terrorist attacks. I went to look at the sign, and it turns out that it's on a fence that has seen better days. I found out the sign is all about what your insurance does or doesn't cover. A car accident last April left Guy DeSouza missing around 12 feet of wood fence. DeSouza got 2 estimates from James Fencing in Columbia to fix the fence. The $350 estimate would replace the missing fence. The $1,200 estimate would replace the whole side of the fence. The driver's State Farm Insurance offered to pay $350 to fix the section, but DeSouza wants more.
I explicitly said I do not accept the option for the 2 sections because it's not going to look nice. It's equals to fixing a car and not matching the color of the car with the rest of the body.
DeSouza put the signs on his fence to let people know he thinks the decision is unfair. But is DeSouza asking for too much?
They said they would repair the fence. And if that's what the contract calls for, repair, that does not mean, as you put it, aesthetically, that it looks exactly the same.
The owner of Leslie Fencing Company in Columbia told me that with most fencing replacements, the new non-waterproof wood that would fill this gap would actually match the old wood in about 2 to 3 months. State Farm Representative Jim Camoriano refused to go on camera, but told me the company will not release information about a customer's private claim, but hopes to resolve issues with the homeowner and has made payment for the damage. DeSouza's home association sent a letter asking him to take down the sign, so he took the sign down Tuesday. Brynne Whittaker, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. Chuck Isaacson wanted to redo his outdoor deck. So he signed a contract with Switzer Construction in January and wrote a check for $3,800, paying half the cost up front. The crew members from Switzer told Isaacson they planned to begin work in mid to late March, but they didn't bring lumber out till late May, the same lumber that is still sitting under the deck 4 months later.
They did show up for about 6 hours. They did some measurements, brought some lumber out, and Doug started digging some holes, came back a couple days later, finished a couple pier holes, then didn't see them again for a week.
After several months of unreturned emails and voice messages, Isaacson is requesting a $2,000 refund for the unfinished work, but has heard nothing back from the company.
We're out money and a lot of time.
Switzer Construction is run out of the home right behind me. Now, aside from yelling at me right here for being outside the company, the people inside refuse to speak with KOMU. Now, according to this Better Business Bureau release, there are at least 3 other people in the mid-Missouri area who paid more than $3,000 to this company and still have incomplete jobs. To avoid contractor problems, the Better Business Bureau recommends making payments in increments throughout the project, asking for references, and verifying contractor licenses.
You want to put a third down at the beginning of the project. Then as you get about halfway through the project, you put another third down. And then at the end of the project, you finish with the last third. Only, though, if that consumer is happy with the job that they did.
After 8 months, Isaacson is finally getting a new deck with the help of a new contractor. Brynne Whittaker, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
Pencils right there, and this is out of there. You never have to use pencils. You don't know what to do.
Columbia classrooms are changing. Your finger is your pencil and your screen is your paper.
I spend like 90% of my time on the iPad.
Every Battle High School student rents an iPad to use in class and at home for the school year. The students use the iPads for note-taking, in-class assignments, and homework. Columbia Public Schools spent roughly $350,000 on buying an iPad for every single Battle High School student. But could iPads like this one be more of a distraction than a learning tool for Columbia high schoolers like the ones just inside Battle High School behind me?
We talk to kids about the ethics of the technology that they're using and have had to help kids maybe manage that a little bit more than just having the world open to them.
Students say the iPads enhance their learning, but can disrupt the classroom.
Now we don't even really use the phones. We use the iPads now because there's texting apps. People can text from iPad to iPads.
Some people don't put it aside and like Snapchat in class and stuff like that, but then others can. It depends. Like, I'm not going to say that I've never been distracted by it because it's a hard thing not to be distracted by.
Battle High School does not block certain applications or websites on the iPads for all students.
So we have the abilities to kind of lock down their iPad and not allow them to download some various things if they can't manage it themselves.
According to the Columbia Public Schools Improvement Office, the move to electronic textbooks via iPad saves the district roughly $300,000 a year for science textbooks alone. Brynne Whittaker, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. Thanks, Lucas. Now here at the Gaylord Texan Hotel, I am seeing orange. Oklahoma State fans and alumni are everywhere. And the Oklahoma State football team is actually staying at the hotel. And let me tell you, the accommodations are top of the line. I'm going to step out of the shop for a second so you can see the center of the hotel, which is just amazing. In the back is what looks like a replica of the Alamo and a gigantic Christmas tree there in the middle. And you can also see hotel rooms are lining this center area so that people staying here can actually see all of the happenings here. Now, later this evening, there's going to be a huge Cotton Bowl celebration for Oklahoma State fans. Train, the musician, is going to be here, similar to the Mizzou Cotton Bowl celebration that was yesterday, where Lee Bryce performed. I'm going to send it over to my colleague Brent Pearson in Stillwater, Oklahoma. As you're walking down the aisles of the grocery store looking for inexpensive and quality food, you probably aren't thinking of the federal farm bill. But with increased funding for local grocery stores and farmers markets, you may just have more options than name brand and generic brand food. President Barack Obama is expected to sign the bill later this week. I also spoke with a local Centralia farmer who says farmers like him won't really know the extent of the effect of the bill until later this month. Reporting live in Columbia, Brynne Whittaker, KOMU 8 News. The Harbor House, the shelter just behind me, provides anyone in need in the Columbia community 3 meals a day and a bed. Now, out of the 61 full beds here at the shelter, 16 of those are filled by children, all under the age of 18. Now, officials are telling me this is the first time in the last 5 years that there's been more than 15 children here at a given time. I spoke with 3 other homeless shelters in the area, and they all agreed as the cold weather gets worse, which it is pretty bad out here right now, more people do come looking for a bed. They also, all 3 agreed as well, they are all full as of today. Reporting live in Columbia, Brynne Whittaker, KOMU 8 News. Connecticut has been so successful in getting people to sign up for health insurance through its online marketplace that it wants to spread its ideas around the country. The state is setting up a consulting business to help other states build and operate websites where people can compare and buy private insurance policies.